Hi, I'm Randy Hetrick. I'm a former Navy SEAL and creator of the TRX suspension trainer, and I'm here with the truth. Brandon Vera, top professional fighter, good friend of mine, good friend of the TRX. Brandon, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be part of TRX.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you a series of exercises on the TRX that are custom made for MMA and MMA style training. Now, it may be that you're not training somebody quite a Brandon.
视频前的你，如果在男性持久力、勃起硬度等方面不满意，现在就加郭老师微信358-163-379，让郭老师帮助你持久坚挺，延时20到40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，增强夫妻性生活，28天彻底告别快男软男，做回自信的自己。记住微信358-163-379。
6 exercises each. These rounds are designed to be done in 5 minutes, much like an MMA match, a championship match.
Yes, sir.
Which we expect to see soon. And then we're going to give you a minute in between, and then we'll do the second round. But before we do that, we're going to proceed to an exercise library where we break each one of these down in detail, and Brandon's going to help me show them how to be modified from the pro level all the way down to the Joe level. So I'm ready to go. You about ready for this?
Let's get to it.
Okay. This exercise is one of my favorites for MMA and basically any other sport where power and leaping is involved. It's called the suspended lunge, and we're going to show you a couple different variations of it. Brandon, can you hop into this? Now he's going to show the easy way to get into this, which is just to plant a hand, balance yourself, reach back, and put foot through both foot cradles, and then stand up, set your balance. Now, we're going to start at the low end of the progression. Brandon's going to go down into a suspended lunge, and he's going to stabilize himself at the bottom with his hands. He's just going to touch, come back up. This is where you'd start somebody who was new to the TRX and maybe at the lower end of the fitness level. Now, then he'll go to no touch, and he'll add a little bit of pace. So now then he'll add a knee strike. He'll bring his knee up at the top, and you'll see he's got great solid balance, but this is tough to do. And then at the end, when he gets to his workout, he's going to add some leaps. Restabilizes, back up. And this is all about acceleration, deceleration, and balance in a power setting. All right, Brandon. That'll get us done. Take himself out. And that is the suspended lunge. This exercise is really one of the other signature exercises in the series for MMA, and it's called the atomic push-up. Brandon, if you can hop out there, I'll slip these on your toes. So you're going to adjust the TRX so that the foot cradles hang about 8 inches off the ground, real precise. Now, when you talk about an exercise that's integrated core and upper body strength, this one's it. So the first thing I'm going to have him do is come up into a plank. Right now, the first part of this motion is a push-up. He's going to come down, come up, and then as he comes up, he's going to bring both knees into his chest, and you see how high Brandon is there, and then back out. You want to come past 90 degrees. Give me one more of those, Brandon. Bam! So you see the power that's generated. Now, you could do this as a pike as well. So he'd come down, do his push-up, and as he comes up into a pike, hold, and then back down. And then I'm going to show one more variation. Come down on your knees, Brandon. If you're really feeling evil, you take the TRX and you put it on one foot. You do one at a time, where Brandon's going to hold his other foot in space. And go ahead and just show me those knees to chest. Down, both of them together, bam, back out. One more, bam. All right, you put your knees down, Brandon. Now on that variation, he's fighting the rotation, and that adds a whole bunch. I believe you felt that, pal, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
When you destabilize one side, you insert torque and rotational forces. Great stuff for MMA. Take your foot out here, buddy. So that
good.
is good, and it's the atomic push-up. Now with the TRX, particularly in this MMA series, there's a lot of these that you can integrate plyometrics into. The exercise I'm going to show now is a great lower body strength move, strength and balance like everything else, but a perfect one to integrate some plyo into, and it's called the crossing balance lunge. So Brandon's going to come back, and he's going to be working on his right foot, which means his left foot's going to be up. Now, as he comes down into a balanced lunge, he's going to cross across with his foot, come back up, bring his knee nice and high on the other side. Give me a couple of those, Brandon. And the key here is I want him to load this glute really heavily by tilting his pelvis to the left and reaching across. You can even give your athlete a hand target that he's got to touch. Now, to take this up, he's going to add a little bit of tempo and power with a lunge and then a hop. Almost like a flying knee, but the mechanic builds strength and power all through his glute, his hamstring, his quad, and integrates the core by bringing the far side knee up. And we'll be showing you another variation of this a bit later called the lateral leap. Now, one of the techniques that brings some injury prevention to the game, which is we're all about with Brandon, keeping him healthy.
Healthy. Keep the machine healthy.
And training for MMA, that's not a certain thing. So one of the exercises that's really great as a prehabilitation exercise as well as strength is the shoulder fly series. We're going to show you two variations here, the Y and the T, that we've mixed together into a combination set. So I'm going to have Brandon come back, get himself set up. He's going to always start at his end position. And so here he's in the T. Now, you're working with your body weight, so Brandon's going to let his body go back, control it on the way down, bring it up into the T. Now this time, he's going to let his body go back, and he's going to bring it up into a Y at the top, which is working his rear delts from a different angle. So show us a couple more of those, Brandon. Now, the couple keys. No slack in the TRX at the top, because if it's slacking, so are you. Brandon's keeping these nice and tight, core engaged, big, broad, straight arms, and like he's squeezing a pencil together at the end.
Let's show him the slack, Brandon, so they know.
Now, if he comes up and he doesn't keep tight, now there's nothing going on his shoulders right here. So if you're training somebody, you cue them to keep those tight like a piano string, and there will always be engagement in the shoulders. The one other thing I want to show is, Brandon, would you step back with one foot and up with the other? Because if somebody's not quite ready for the advanced version Brandon was doing, you use this rear leg as a kickstand, and as he comes up, he puts a little bit of weight on that back foot. He still keeps these tight at the top. Go ahead, down again. But you can see how he can support from the back so that he can always keep appropriate resistance on the TRX throughout the full range of motion. That's great. Thanks, buddy. So that is two variations of the TRX shoulder fly, the T and the Y, and you're going to see us mix them together in combination during the real-time workout. The next exercise is a great integrated lower body strength and core integration move. It's called the elevated hip press. So I'm going to have Brandon lie down, and we've adjusted these a little higher for the MMA variant of this exercise, and we're going to show it two different ways today. One is with the toes in. Now, the keys here on this, Brandon's going to keep his knees at 90 degrees and his hips. So the angle at the knee and the hip, you want to be 90 degrees. We're going to start with just a basic hip lift, where Brandon's going to activate through the hams, the glutes, up and down. Now, at the top of the move, I want to see his knees, hips, and shoulders all on a perfect tabletop, just like they are. There's the basic entry level, and what you saw Brandon doing there for the basic end of the spectrum is using his elbows to support some of that weight. Now, taking it up a little bit, he's going to now integrate an upa. So go ahead, Brandon, show as you come up. Just like he's bucking somebody off who's got the mount, and he's going to hold at the top because that's where he's getting the best concentric work right there. And you can see he's integrated a couple to each side, high end of the motion. There you go. So that is the elevated hip press. Our next exercise is really a power-based movement, and so we call it the power pull. Now this is a great classic move for MMA. You're drawn in, you've got integrated core strength, upper body strength, and this one even involves the glutes. So I'm going to have Brandon go ahead and back away, and he's always going to set himself up at the top of the move to check his range of motion. So go ahead and reach up. He's reaching up as far as he can toward the anchor point there. Now he's going to let himself fold back, uncouple his hips, reaching back, and then he's going to start from the hips and reverse that pattern all the way up. Now you'll notice in this variation, Brandon's feet are a little further apart. With this one, we focus on the glutes because that's what's stabilizing in the hamstring, while we're also mixing in 360 degrees of core, and you'll see his left arm working pretty well there. And the last thing I'm going to show, when you want to take it up, partners, you provide some resistance. So now Brandon's going to resist a little as I throw him down, and that very quickly will add up, as I believe my man will attest.
For sure. Hurt your core, hurt your glutes bad. real bad.
So that's the first version of the power pull with partner resistance. The next exercise is one of my favorites. It's called the suspended burpee. Now, for those of you who are already familiar with burpees, this is going to take your burpee to a whole new level, and we got a little surprise for you that we'll talk about in just a minute. But let's start. I'm going to have Brandon set up for a regular burpee, and we'll show you how to progress this for users at different levels. Again, he's using his hand as a kickstand there. Now, at the beginning of this, on the low end, he's just going to come down. He's going to straighten out that leg, pause for a moment, bring it back up, and then he's going to stand up. At the lowest end, do a couple of those for me, Brandon. This is what you'd want to do with somebody who wasn't Brandon Vera, but who wanted to get up to that level. Now, Brandon will add a push-up, because this is how to take it up one level. And then he's going to add a push-up with a leap and reach to the sky and right back down. One more of those, Brandon. All right. Now, I told you there were a couple of signature moves that Brandon had created, and this is one of them. And unfortunately, in this case, I'm the guy that gets to hold the pad. So this one is the suspended burpee with Brandon's own unique twist, which you want to cue this up and then explain it at the end?
In MMA, you end up in a lot of different positions, bad positions where you might be leaning off balance, like right now, that you're going to have to force yourself to be able to react and attack in. This move right here simulates that by having to throw a knee in the middle of a movement while I'm holding onto my partner. We'll go through it real slow at first, and then I'll show a couple medium and then one full speed. It kind of cheats on the balance part, but do not do this with your new clients, with anybody new to TRX, because they might roll their ankle. Going slow, down, here, same regular position. As I come up, my hands are coming up and I'm looking to grab on the neck and shoulder of my partner. As I do this, I jump off the same leg I was coming up off of, striking with the knee. Back down, let go, come. Back down to the ground, up, back down, here. One more.
And that seems like about enough of those from my perspective.
Thanks, Randy.
And I will tell you, he is delivering some serious power there. Now, Brandon, anything else you want to add in terms of the mechanic? You were explaining it when you were on your foot before, but if there's anything else, might as well get it in now.
Basically with the move, let me put these back on real quick. With this move, if you're going to do the knee strike, or whenever you're doing these burpees, you have to realize your client, the person that's training, is on one leg. It's real easy for them to roll their ankle, so you're going to have to progress slowly with this one, especially before they do the hops. That's the only one.
And make sure they're able to do this, do the strike, and land it before you integrate the pad and the partner pull.
That's it.
So that is the full range spectrum on the suspended burpee. Now, for this exercise, this is a variation on an exercise that we showed earlier called the crossing balance lunge. Here we integrate plyometrics in a big bad way at the upper end of the spectrum. This one is called the lateral leap. Now, Brandon, I'm going to have you start out showing the lower end, which all this is lateral movement into a lunge. At the low end, Brandon will plant that foot on the ground and use it to stabilize, just moving back and forth. And this is what you do with someone who is starting out on this exercise or starting out in MMA training in general. Now, as he takes it up, he adds tempo and then explosiveness, and he will leap, and Brandon's going to be going for distance here all the way across the mat. Bam, out. Now, could go for speed, could go for height, could go for distance. He's only using the TRX to keep repeating and get his intensity up as he builds those powerful lateral movements. Thank you, my friend. That one is called the lateral leap, and I believe he will be feeling that through his glutes, hams, quads, and I don't know, any place I missed?
Good times, no, all of them. All of them. I feel it everywhere.
Right on. So, the lateral leap. All right, we're showing exercises of a variety of stripe here. Some of these are aggressive plyometrics, some of these are prehabilitative, and some are a combination. This is one of those. It's called the TRX back extension. And it's a great one for the entire backside of Brandon's body here. So the first thing is he's going to do, he's going to set up on his end position. He's got his angle. Now he's going to let his hips fall away. Nice stretch. And then as he comes up, he's going to activate through the hamstrings first, then the glutes, then the extensors of the low back. You can do this nice and slow, or you can begin to add a little tempo. But the important thing is at the top, you keep the straps tight, you reach for the sky, you suck in the gut, and you really activate the glutes and the extensors. Now, when we do this workout, you'll see one little evil twist. I'm going to have Brandon stop and hold there, open his feet just a touch. Now he's going to do overhead squats, so go ahead and squat down. Now, what Brandon's focusing on is keeping his arms back, not letting them come forward, keeping his core engaged. And this is not an exercise for your lower body. This is an exercise for the whole backside of the body that stabilizes the spine. All right, Brandon, thank you. Now, you feel those anywhere unusual?
I feel it from my L4 all the way to my S1. It's tight on my whole back. It's not even really a leg workout. It's not like squats, working your quads and hamstrings, but it is from the bottom all the way to the top is on fire the whole time.
And that's what this exercise is all about, protecting the low back. Low back all the way up through the rear shoulders. This is a great prehabilitative workout that, you know, won't leave you wanting.
Let me add one more thing.
Please, yeah.
When we are leaning back like this and you're coming here, one of the bad habits your students could have is them throwing their hips forward first and pulling themselves out. So make sure, watch their hips when you're coming. Make sure their shoulders doing the work, their back comes up, and their hips should be the last thing to lean forward, not this.
That's a great point. And you see all kinds of bad habits that he demoed with that last one, because hips fling forward, straps go slack, and then you fall back on it. So we don't want that. We want control from the start to the finish, core stabilization, spine stabilization, shoulders locked out at the top and bottom.
It's a good one. This is a real good exercise.
All right. That is a combination. First we showed the standing back extension and into the overhead squat. Standing back extension into the overhead squat. Okay, now we've showed you how in every one of these TRX exercises for the MMA series, there are multiple progressions, different ways to do these exercises. This is a repeat of an exercise that we've shown already called the power pull, but here we're going to show it in a different way. So Brandon, go ahead and back up. This is actually a variation that Brandon likes and has really focused on in his development with close feet. And the difference, go ahead into the power pull now, Brandon. So you see his move, he's going to reach all the way up to the top, drawing back. He's got a good angle, but here his feet are together, and what he's done, you see the balance challenge, and that's what he wants. He's also moved the bulk of the challenge up from his glutes really into his obliques, and he's really feeling that through the core. So it's a bit slower. You can ramp it up by walking in. Give me just a little step in, and now this gets really challenging. And we'll see this again a little later in this workout. Now, you feeling that one through the middle?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
All right, so there you go. So that's a different variation, narrow feet with the power pull. Now this one, this is a special one. This is a superset we're going to call the core superset. And we're going to finish up our workout with this one. It's going to beast Brandon's core, but first we're going to show you how to break it down. It's composed of two unique movements. First is the suspended knee strikes, and then we're going to transition up onto his hands, and we're going to go into a mountain climber's sprint. So, let me get some toes there, pal.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing Brandon's going to do is just come up into his plank, but he's going to be on his elbows, on his forearms, like a Thai clinch. Now, he's going to lead this with a body saw, and all that means is he's going to rock his body back, and as he comes forward, he's going to bring his right knee forward into a knee strike. Bam. And he's going to reset, back, left. Now, this body saw is a key part, and you'll see how Brandon's, the angle at his shoulder joint is opening up and closing. Do a couple more. One there. One there. Okay, now come down to your knees. So that's the suspended knee strike with a body saw preload. We're going to take a quick rest when we're doing this real time, and Brandon's going to come up to his hands, and now we're going to go into a suspended mountain climber, but a sprint. So go ahead and show a few of these. Now the key on this is how far he's bringing his knees forward. You see the angle here is well past 90 degrees. Now if Brandon were doing this wrong and he were just short stroking them, that is not the way to do this, and all that's doing is a little bit of hip flexor. So one more time, Brandon, the correct way. Bam, 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 and there you go. So that is the suspended mountain climber sprint, and before that, we did it with a suspended knee strike. You're going to like this one.
Not really, but it's good for you.
All right, now, this is exciting. It's the only time, right, that an old SEAL like me gets to actually beat up on an MMA superstar without fear of getting knocked out. So here's where we put it together. So far what we've shown you, we broke down every one of the exercises that are in what is now the TRX MMA Power set that we're going to do here live. We've broken them down already, showed you how to do them. Now Brandon is going to show you how to mix them together. And as I mentioned at the very outset of this program, we're doing these as 2 rounds. You can repeat these as many times as you want, although I would propose that you might only want to repeat them once the first time through. Each of these rounds, 6 exercises, 5 minutes each, including the transition time, or at least that's the goal. Now we may go a little bit slower because Brandon's going to be doing every one of these perfectly so that you can see how to do them, but it'll be right around 5-minute round. We'll take a 1-minute break, grab some water, we'll go into round 2. So, what do you think, my man?
Let's get to it.
You ready?
Get it over with.
Okay, so we're going to start out with the suspended lunge, and remember, the reason we're calling this the power workout is because just about every one of these has plyometrics involved with it. So, Brandon, pick your leg, whichever you want to start with. Fine with me. All right, so Brandon's starting with his right leg. I'm going to be keeping time today, so I'll get my countdown timer set up here, and we're ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, Brandon's starting, and he's adding the hop right off the bat. He's going down and up. Every time, nice, solid balance. Good leap at the top, the beginning of the workout, so he's going to start, maybe leaving something in the tank, and drain it as we go along. All right, we're halfway through, Brandon. Notice every single time, he's going down, he's stabilizing, firing back up. Ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Excellent job. Now we're going to transition over to the other side. Okay, so we just switched legs. You ready to go on the left side? And off you go. So you notice every time, the key here, Brandon's going just as fast as he can manage. Lands solidly. Coming up on halfway, Brandon. Nice reach at the top. Now I'm going to be cueing him to keep his weight going back. There he goes. 10 seconds, Brandon. Keep him going. This is one of the harder ones. That's why we started with it. Wake the body up right off the bat. He was warm. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and time. Great job. Okay, now, with a minimum amount of rest, I'm now going to lower this down so it's about 8 inches off. Foot cradles are 8 inches off. Brandon's going to come up into the atomic push-up. All right, buddy. Ready? Go. And I'm going to try to keep him. He's going to run up his pace here, and I'm going to try to keep him from overdoing it. So nice and slow, Brandon. Nice and deliberate. Nice and deliberate. Because you can explode on this workout really easily if you're not careful. All right, Brandon. Now, for the last 10, let's go to each side. Left elbow, right elbow. There's one. Yep. There you go. A couple more each side. 5 seconds. Excellent. Excellent. And time. Nice, buddy. Okay, we're moving from there. We're back up onto our feet. So we get to give your upper body a little bit of a break. I'm going to shorten these up for him. Now we're going to go into the cross and balance lunge. So we're just going to be staying right in the center. You ready to go? So you're going to start with your right leg doing the work, left knee up, and into the crossing balance lunge. No lateral leap. All right, there we go. Nope, just there you go. Crossing balance lunge, up and down. Now, what he's got to do here, he's got to stabilize himself. He's back on that same damn leg that he was just busting a minute ago with the suspended lunge. You can see these are adding up fast. Halfway there. Nice and slow, good, methodical. Now, last 10 seconds, I want to see the leap with it. Just straight up and down. There you go. There you go. You got 5 seconds, Brandon. A couple more. A couple more. You can see how these are adding up already. And time. Okay? Reset yourself right over to the other side. Start him out with a nice, without the plyo. Let the athlete get the motion, get the full range of motion, get themselves sort of set up, and then about the midpoint, that's the time to add the plyo. And as you've seen, if you do the whole workout with plyo, this thing is going to go badly. All right, last 10 seconds. Give me some hops there. Straight up and down. Brandon's driving that knee up, keeping a full range of motion, because everybody, as they fatigue, starts to short stroke these movements. Last 2. 1 and time. Great. Okay, so we did the suspended lunge. We did the atomic push-up. We did the crossing balance lunge. Now, nope, we're up here, buddy. We're up here to the Y's and T's. So, it's my job to keep him on track, his job to bust it out. All right, so ready? And begin. So, Brandon is now working his shoulders. Going up into the Y, out into the T. Heart rate will come down a little bit here, which is great because the rest of this set will bring his heart rate back down after we jacked it up out the gate. Got another 10 seconds, Brandon. Nice at the top and at the sides. And squeeze them, just like we talked about in the exercise library. 2 more reps. 1 each. Up and down. Great. Now we're going to be moving down to the ground. So we're going to adjust these up because we're doing our elevated hip press. We're going to adjust these up nice and high. Brandon's going to go ahead and lay back. He's going to put in his feet. Now remember the points of performance here. 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the hip. And Brandon's going to be doing the UPA version. And off you go. Alternating sides. Alternating sides. Great work. Now, there's nothing that's going to help you launch a guy out of the mount than regular training on this exercise. Good job, buddy. Halfway there. Now, at this point, Brandon's hams, his glutes are starting to scream, and we've already taxed them. So all he's doing now is hanging on. There you go. Nice work. Got another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and time. Great work, Mr. Vera. We're up on our feet now, and we're going to the power pull. So Brandon's going to take both the foot cradles in whichever hand he wants to start with, and I'm going to make sure that we don't do the same hand twice. All right, now off you go. Now what we want to see here, because this is coming to the end of the last exercise of round 1, we want to see that the athlete keeps his form, keeps his intensity, even though he's definitely been working. That's about halfway, so at this point I'm going to add some partner resistance, and I'm going to just throw him down. Throw him down. Got about 10 seconds, Brandon. About 5 more reps. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and time. Nice work. All right, now straight over to the other side. So again, first half, I'm going to let him do the work, collect himself on his fresh arm. About the midway point, I'm going to jump in and add some of that partner resistance. Nice work. Now I can hear Brandon's working. How you doing there, buddy? All right. All right. Here we are, halfway point. I'll add a little bit of resistance. And all he's doing here is he's decelerating now. He's fighting against me. He's doing a beautiful job. Last couple of reps. We need 2 more, Brandon. There's 1. The last one. Time. All right. Now, there is round 1. Hopefully you saw. Pretty intense. It's got a little rain coming down on my man's head here. And just so we don't cheat ourselves, let's go ahead and we'll start our rest timer. Have you grab some water. And, oh, no water. Well, if it were me, I'd be grabbing water. He needs no water. So 1 minute rest and we'll be back. Okay, so we just did round 1. We took a quick, maybe too quick break, and we're on to round 2. And now Brandon gets to give me a little payback, and we're going back to that damn suspended burpee with the knee strike. So Brandon's going to go ahead, use his partner to get in. I'm going to set up, and then, Brandon, we're off. Oh, yeah. Love that. Mercifully, we're coming up to halfway. You'll notice I'm talking a lot less now. Being knee struck by Brandon Vera. Something I wouldn't want to do for a living. Last couple. 1 more after this, Brandon. All right, now we switch sides. switch my bag. You can use me if you want. There you go. All right. Ready when you are. There you go. Now you talk about a full body integrated power. 3 more, Brandon, 3 more. Last one. Nice work. And because I placed the pad in the wrong place, I got to feel what one of those is like. All right, so the suspended burpee. Thank God that's behind us. So the next thing we're going to is the lateral leap. Now, for the lateral leap, I, as the trainer here, I'm going to be adjusting these for him. So lateral leap, we're going to do short. We're going to make sure there's no water over here, no sweat. All right, so Brandon's going to start with the advanced version. Brandon, you ready? Out you go, and then leaping across. There you go. Now, back and forth, across, side to side. Now, unfortunately for Brandon, we've got this big mat here that he's using as his marker, and it makes things harder because, frankly, it's harder to cheat when you're getting worn out. All right, we are more than halfway. We're coming up on 10 seconds left in this set right here. Nice, there you go. So, he's recollected himself from the suspended burpee. He's got it together. Last 3 seconds, 2, time. Nice work, buddy. Okay, so now we've taken 2 really ramp up exercises with plyometrics. Now we're going to take it down a little bit. We're going to go to the back extension. We're going to mix this in, bring his heart rate down just a little, but not too much. He's going to start overhead, and off you go, Brandon. We talked about this as a prehabilitative exercise to protect the low back, to protect the shoulder girdle. This is whole body integrated strength, and it's a perfect one to mix in the middle of a round like this because he's still active just like he would be in the ring, but there might be a moment where he's got a chance to collect himself. Maybe he's in a clinch. This is a moment where he can think, can bring it back down, all the while he's doing stuff that's going to keep him in the game over the long haul. Last couple. 2 reps left. There's 1. Now, remember, I told you at the top we're going to hold. Now, give me 10 of these, Brandon. There's 1, 2, keep those shoulders back. 3, 4, there you go, buddy. 5, you see he's keeping those nice and tight. There's 6, 7, 8, 2 more, full range. 9, and 10. Beautiful work. Yeah, you hear that groan because that low back, man, that is no fun. All right, so these ones we're going to do single-sided, and this is another one where we're going to bring it down just a little bit, and Brandon's going to show his version of the single leg. Actually, you know what? Let me put these 2 together. We'll show you how to do that in the library. All right, now he's going to be starting this side of neutral because this is the triangle version of the elevated hip press. All right, Brandon. There you go. You're off and running. Now you notice what he's doing. Every time he's drawn in just like he would to set up that triangle, sucking the opponent down, bringing the leg up over the top and locking it in. That is serious power integration of that hamstring. All right, Brandon, we're more than halfway. Your last 10 seconds. Give me about 4 more of those. Last 2. And time. Great work. Now we're going to switch sides. Recollect. Ready when you are, buddy. There he goes. A lot of technique here. Brandon's making these things look easy, but believe me, they're not. We're halfway there. Halfway there. There you go. There you go. Last 10 seconds. Give me about 4 reps. There's 4, 3, 2 more, Brandon, 2 more. 2 and 1. Nice work. Nice work. I'll tell you what, Brandon is making these things look a lot easier than they are, as you will see. All right, so now he's back to the power pull. I'm going to unhook from single-handle mode, set him back up, I'm going going to shorten the TRXs. I'm going to hand him the foot cradles. And remember, these ones are the narrow base. He's going to get himself set up. He's going to pick the angle that's right for him because I don't know at this point. He can pick it, and he'll pick it right at his threshold, and off you go, Brandon. And remember, with this one, what we're really focusing on with this version of the power pull, with the narrow stance version, is the core rotation. There's a lot of rotation in this program that you might not necessarily see, but I guarantee you'll feel it when you do it. So Brandon's getting a nice rotation, reaching all the way out, uncoupling his hips, because a big part of this is letting those hips open and closing them. All right, Brandon, we're on our last 8 seconds. Couple more. Heart rate coming down just a little. And there you go, time. Okay, switch sides. He's going to set up, get himself set on the other side, and off he goes. Now, sometimes with the TRX, you'll get going, and you'll find, man, I bit off a little bit more than I needed to there. Or you get halfway through a set and think, hey, I got some left in the tank. The great thing is, all you do is adjust your foot position, and you stay right where you need to be throughout the whole set. All right, Brandon, we're more than halfway, last 10 seconds. Really, he's focusing on, if we had him hooked up to a electric monitor, we'd see that everything in his core is on fire right now. Last 3, buddy. 2 and 1. Very, very nice work. Now, quick towel off because we are at the end of round 2, and it's perhaps the most evil of the pieces. Give me a toe. Give me the other toe. All right, now, remember what we said we're going to do. He's starting with the suspended knee strikes from a tie clinch. He's going to come up into his plank. He's going to start with a body saw, back, and you're off, Brandon. Right knee, reset, left knee. Now, this is as pure as it gets in terms of mapping a strength move directly to something that Brandon does in the ring. Every time he's bringing it up, there you go, and he resets, he goes at his pace, nobody else's pace. Not too fast, there you go, you need to rest, you blow up. Brandon, you got 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, this is the last one right here, buddy. Bam, now, he gets a little break. He's gonna collect himself, all right? He's got a 10-second rest, he's gonna come up to his hands. This is the last exercise in this workout. You ready to rock it? Okay, my man, when you're ready, come up, and we're going into the suspended mountain climber sprint. Now, this is perhaps the hardest and most evil of the whole set because it comes at the end, and he has been busting it. There you go, Brandon. If you got to stop, you let your heart rate collect, your respiration, and then back up at it, just like you would in the ring. There you go, buddy. There you go. You're more than halfway. If you blow up, you stop, you collect. All right, you got last 10 seconds. Give them to me. Give them to me. Let's go. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and time. Nice, nice work. Now,
Good times, man.
now I feel like a damn slacker here, beasting my buddy here, but hey, this is what it looks like for a high performance athlete at the peak of his profession, doing what is a really simple thing. We got a harness, some damn straps, right?
Straps.
We got his weight, which at the moment, 214, so he's lifting plenty, but he's lean and mean, and that shows you how a professional athlete going at that level, doing all the high progressions, because in case you think for a moment that what he was doing isn't hard as heck, you're crazy, and you'll find out when you get on this. We could have stepped every one of those down, but we didn't. We picked the hardest. Brandon wanted to do the hardest progression of everything naturally, so that's what we did. Everything with plyo, everything at the highest end, and you can see it gave him about everything he wanted.
Everything, yeah, I'm good to go. No need to repeat today.
So we had strength, we had balance, we had flexibility. Well, we're going to do just a little bit of flexibility right now because while the athlete is warm, we'll let him cool down for just a minute, and then I'll show a couple of quick stretches so that you don't tighten up. But we got a lot of integrated stuff there today, right?
It hurts good. Total body's burnt from my back to the muscles in my feet hurt. Trying to balance yourself during some of the exercises, and I think that's what makes the TRX such a great system, is that nothing is balancing you except for you. You're not laying down on a bench, you're not leaning up against a wall, you don't have somebody spotting you. It's you and all of your little muscles that you've never used before.
Right on. Well, So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back for a little stretch, and that's a wrap. And great work, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
All right, guys.
Okay, you're in luck today because my man Brandon Vera here just cannot get enough. He just did the TRX MMA power workout, but we got a couple of special bonus moves, really sets that you're going to like here that map directly to MMA with the TRX. So we're going to start with something called the chest press giant set. And what this is about, right, is strength, integrated strength through the chest, front of the shoulders, but also shoulder stability. And Brandon can probably talk for a long time about why it's important to have strong shoulders that don't break down.
For sure, yeah.
So between his shoulders, his elbows, we're going to show you something here that's great to build up integrated strength, shoulder, elbow, chest. And we're going to start it out with a serious power move to kind of break him down. Now, as if he wasn't broken down enough from what we just did. So go ahead, Brandon, hop into that. And what we're going to do is have Brandon just show a few reps of this. So go ahead and walk yourself back. It starts with the inverted press. So come back a little further, a little further. Now, Brandon's going to come up and stabilize. Come up and stabilize. And then he's going to go down into a press. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now, he's going to come down. He's going to walk forward. I'm going to take this off of his foot, bring it around, and he's going to go straight into a chest press, a steep chest press. Now, without letting it rub on his arms, 1, 2, 3. Now he's going to step forward, do 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now, he could do as many gradations there as we wanted. We could also keep him up as long as he wanted. What we're showing here is the giant set going from a very high demanding power set with the suspended press down to very high demand in terms of stabilization for his steep chest press, and then we finished him off at a medium grade chest press. Now, how do you feel that?
It'll blow you up quick. Blow you up real quick. I don't think you can incorporate that to a set.
and that's why we didn't incorporate it into the program, but we're showing it here as a bonus feature. Okay, now the second extra feature that we're going to show here is the side plank series. And we didn't have it programmed in the original MMA power program because we've got to make some tough decisions. But Brandon insisted that we put it back in at the end as a feature because some pretty good stuff for the side, the oblique, and control on that frontal plane. Yeah?
I think this is my favorite one.
All right, it's a backhanded compliment. So what Brandon's going to do is he's going to put his top foot in the front, his bottom foot behind, and he's going to come up on his right forearm. Now he's going to set himself up, come up into a plank, and he's just going to show. So the base progression, Brandon, go ahead and put your hand down here. So you should, yeah, just put it. So for somebody who's just starting, they just start here with a static hold. Then they progress to the hand up, and then when they're ready, then they integrate the rotation. Brandon's going to do a few reps on each side. There you go, and you notice that he's getting multi-planar motion. He's getting a twist and a lift. And then roll toward the ground for me, Brandon, just so that we can show people how to transfer from one side to the other. All right? And then, now, on the other side, he's going to come up on his left forearm, do the same thing. You get a chance to see it from two different perspectives. Notice he's lifting the hips up and rotating under. Great stuff. Thanks, buddy. So that is the suspended side plank series from basic up through advanced with a pike and rotation. Okay, so we finished the workout. Brandon did a great job. He's still nice and warm, and this is a great time to stretch your athlete. So we're just going to show a couple, the whole big series of flexibility-based movements on the TRX. We're going to show a couple of the key ones here. We just really worked his low back, his chest, and his hip flexors, so that's what we're going to focus our stretch on. So Brandon, go ahead and come on back. First one's just going to be the low back stretch. He's just going to let his butt fall away. He's not going to be too steep. If he feels like this is hard, he'll move his feet back just a little like that. Really relaxing, letting the lats go, let the low back go through the mid back. Then, Brandon, expand your feet just a little apart from each other. Now, then I'm going to integrate a little rotation. So his left knee is going to bend and he's going to look under his right armpit. And what he's doing is he's working on flexibility through the mid back. A lot of fighters get very tight through the upper and mid back. We're going to stretch him out. Now switch sides. Right knee bends. He looks under the left side. Should be nice and relaxed. Cooled down. Now back and forth each side a couple of times. Just really letting go. A couple seconds one side, couple seconds the other side. The whole back side of Brandon's body is starting to stretch. Gravity's doing the work. Whenever you're ready, buddy, you can come up. Okay, now we'll continue that. He's going to step across with his left foot, and we're going to go into the long torso stretch. Same kind of concept, letting gravity do the work here while he's warm. Now we've integrated a transverse plane motion, a twist into this essentially, and he can find the spot that's tight. Maybe he wants to bend his forward a little bit, stand up straighter, come in and out of it once or twice, sink back into it a little more deeply the second time. You see he's stretching all the way from his left calf, or his right calf, all the way up the right side of his body. Now come on up, switch sides, step over. You're just going to repeat on the other side. Long torso stretch. Now with this stretch, it's up to the athlete to find the tight spots. All of us are a little bit looser in some areas, tighter in others. So Brandon's going to get into wherever he's running into his own tight spots. That's where he's going to work, and he's going to let gravity open him up. Come into it, out of it once, and then sink back into it one more time, Brandon. Second time into all these stretches, you should be able to go a little further than you did the first time. A little better range of motion. All right, now we're going to do one other exercise back here that, because we worked a lot of glute, Brandon's just going to bring one foot across his knee, and he's going to sit back into a standing figure four. Now sit back into it right there, and he's going to try to keep his chest up a little. There you go. And we're getting into this right glute. Settling into it, come up out of it once, Brandon, and then settle back into that one more time, that same side. Down into it. Really stretching out the low back and the glute. Come up out of that, we'll do the other side. Settling into it. Breathing, make sure your athlete's breathing. I'm standing here just because I don't want him worrying so much about his balance. I want him to really get into the stretch, come out of it once, and then sit back into it. Second time into all these stretches, you should go a little deeper. There you go. All right, great work. Now we're going to move up to the front because, as we talked about, a lot of hip flexor work, a lot of abdominal work, and some lat work. So first thing he's going to do is he's just going to walk forward and stretch his chest. He's not leaning into this. He's just almost standing straight up, and he's going to experiment with the angle of his arms. So he's going to lower him down. He's going to bring him up. All about opening up his shoulder girdle and his chest. He's just going to relax, breathe into it. Make sure that all those presses that we did today don't leave him all bunched over, tightened up on the front side, open him back up. Then when he's ready, he's going to step forward with his left foot, back with his right, into a lunge. And now, the idea here is that he's going to be activating his right glute. So he's going to squeeze this right glute to open up the hip flexor on the front side of his right hip. All of that work that he was doing, the knee strikes, building up that hip flexor, and then he's going to rotate to the other side. There you go. Now he's squeezing the left glute, really focusing on opening up the hip flexor on the left side of his body. He'll be rotating to both sides, getting into those shoulders and the chest. And whenever Brandon's ready, we're going to call this thing for today. So what I hope we showed you, I hope we showed you some strength, some balance, some agility, some flexibility, some power, all integrated together. That's at least what I was trying to put together for my pal here today. And Brandon, you got any comments? You know, as a guy at the top of your profession, you're training on this harness as a regular part of your workout, and some people would say, well, Brandon Beer can train on anything that he wants. So, you know, why how does this help you?
You know, what really separates the TRX apart from all the other equipment I use and the rounds that I do on pads and on mitts and the circuit training I do is that this simple piece of equipment right here makes you tired, mostly because you're working here to here non-stop during the whole workout. Your core is engaged the whole time. No matter what movement you're doing, everything's tight and working. It's hard to breathe. No matter how good a shape you're in, this being so tight constricts your breathing, and it makes you work that much harder when you're trying to do other exercises while you're using this. So it's, you know, a lot of equipment and a lot of things claim to be a complete body workout. This really is legit. This is what everybody tries to become.
Right on. Well, hey, I can't put it any better than that, so I'll stop right there. Brandon, thanks, buddy, for
Thanks for
coming
having me. Yes, sir.
and doing this with us. And we hope we showed you some good stuff on how to build an MMA-based strength conditioning program with the body weight resistance training tool, the TRX suspension trainer. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find that this gives you everything that you need to make your body your machine.
There's a variety of TRX programming available to help you reach your fitness goals. Randy Hetrick, former U.S. Navy SEAL and inventor of the TRX, teams up with world-class jump rope training expert Buddy Lee. This intense workout combines 2 fitness tools you can use anywhere. Step up to a non-stop cardio challenge, spliced with total body strength training and TRX boot camp, ropes and straps. Are you ready for a new challenge? Get your next round of strength and cardio boot camp style. Join Randy Hetrick and Olympian Buddy Lee for a double feature of intense TRX strength training and cardio intervals. TRX boot camp ropes and straps round 2 is built to make you sweat. Leading jump rope trainer Buddy Lee and TRX group training expert Suzanne Pata lead you through a fun and effective strength and cardio workout featuring the TRX and the jump rope. Burn calories and shape your body fast in TRX Essentials Cardio Circuit. TRX Essentials Strength has everything you need to build total body muscular fitness. Follow Fraser Quelch through a series of unique exercises designed to maximize your total body strength. Increase range of motion and stability using integrated movements with Fraser Quelch, head coach and director of training and development at Fitness Anywhere. Reduce overall muscular tension and improve posture in TRX Essentials Flexibility. If you're serious about improving your performance, Todd Durkin, Elite Strength, Speed, and Conditioning Coach, is ready to take you through a team sports-specific workout that will push you to give your all in TRX Performance Team Sports. Todd Durkin, Elite Strength, Speed, and Conditioning Coach to top athletes in the NFL, MLB, and NCAA, shows you how to train like the pros and take your fitness to the next level. In TRX Performance, train like the pros. TRX Performance Tennis with Justin Price will help you smash your opponent. Whether you're a trainer, coach, or player, this program provides an all-in-one cardio and strength training workout that will get you more time on the court and less time at the gym. Designed to improve back strength and alignment, this program led by Justin Price teaches you to address muscular imbalances, making everyday activities easier and pain-free. In TRX Biomechanics, Healthy Back,